This is an unprecedented storm.
Potentially unsurvivable.
The worst flooding to hit the region
In this century, authorities urging everyone to get inland. Fast.
I'm Chuck, this is Joey, and Joey's currently retired. I'm still active service. And so the group that came together to help out in Western North Carolina was a collection of Green Berets and special operators that had all worked together previously. And the events out at Western North Carolina with the hurricane, that community came together and in a lot of pretty unique ways, but with the purpose of getting to the most isolated personnel that were out there. Joey and I began talking about participating in that or any direction where help was needed. Hope has been instrumental throughout the entire effort that we've been a part of. Hope provided initially equipment, supplies, materials that outfitted things like chainsaw teams, things like the teams to do the initial openings into these areas.
We had a lot of momentum happening in the threads, and it was just a lot of folks that were looking for ways to help. Hey, what are we going to do? This is our bread and butter. Like, we know how to go into these areas and thrive and help others, more than just survive. So it was really an opportunity for a lot of us to put what we've dedicated our lives to, like, back into our own communities. That ultimately developed into just us kind of formulating like that first big push, the first big team. When we got into the town of Saluda, they originally had made a point of contact with one of the barbecue shop owners there, and he linked us up with the fire chief because he saw the capability we brought to bear. And like so many other places we've been to before, your very first order at hand is to establish trust with the people that you're trying to assist. If they trust you, it's all hands on deck. If they don't, you may not really find like the right problems or issues that you have a solution to, because trust is everything. And then from there, when we decided that, hey, you know what, like, we're just going to commit to this area. Like, if we do decide to bounce, let's do it after we get this bridge opened up. Because on the other side of that bridge was an isolated community from both sides. On the far side of that community was another bridge that was washed out. So we knew, and in coordination with the fire department, their big request was to get into the next community, then we can provide emergency medical services. So that was our real goal by that first night, was to get that dirt road built. So it was like 5 a.m. We ended up getting the truck and the skid steer stuck on the way back up the switchbacks because we had to switch that one out, had to come back into Carthage. And so by the time we got back, it was great to drive into the firehouse parking lot and just see just big old trucks of equipment waiting for us to take down into that cove. And then our whole team was then consolidated, and the firehouse is cooking breakfast for everybody. So it was just really cool to see everybody come together.
Everybody that we worked with was folks that lived there, worked there. They're in the community. It's a community rebuild in itself, with, at the time we found them, no external help whatsoever. So just receiving some help from somebody was huge, for if nothing else, for morale of the situation. Extra hands, but then also just to give them that extra energy to complete the task.
I think it was a really good healing feeling at this juncture in our country right now. So it was amazing to feel and see, and that's the story that I've brought back and tried to share with everyone, is that we need to have families sponsor families. We need to have communities sponsor communities. And in doing so, that's the connective tissue to the greater outside world and bigger external support that we can use these relationships that have been built to surgically deliver it exactly to someone who requested it. The fundamental real things for us as people, as humans in America, are still very real, regardless of what you may consume from an information perspective. It's still tangible, it's still real. People still care about their neighbor. People still want to be parts of communities. People are still willing to give you literally the last shirt off their back. We watched it happen. So it's important for folks to know that.
Teresa, your home burned down a couple of days ago. This camper was donated at the Frank Fire Department. I don't know exactly who donated it, but it was at the Frank Fire Department. And these people here brought this in.
You are loved. Okay, this is all God.
No.